Hey guys, welcome back to Beach and Fishing. Paul here with you today, and Beach and Fishing, my site aimed at everything to do with fishing, whether it be in the ocean, on the lake, in an estuary, river, etc, etc. I am by no means a professional fisherman, but it's something I love doing, and I like to talk about it, read about it, write about it, and obviously shoot videos about it. So today what I just want to quickly do is, I've been writing a bit about kayaks lately, and you know, this for kayak and that for kayak, rods for kayaks, reels for kayaks, and so on and so forth. And I just wanted to run you through quickly, mainly because I was talking to a friend of mine recently who wanted to buy one, and so I just want to quickly talk you through what you can, or what I believe you should look for as a minimum in a kayak. I've got my little one here. This is one I use in estuaries, on lakes. It's a little bit short for the ocean. I have used it in the ocean and only on a very, very calm day. This one's about 8 foot long. Now, when you're looking, the first thing when you're looking for a kayak, this is a sit on top model. Obviously, because we sit on top of it, you can also get sit-in models and inflatable models. Some of the inflatable models for fishing are actually not too bad these days. I'd always avoid them because I was worried about getting a hook stuck into them, but apparently that can't happen. The sit-in models, again, you can use for fishing. A lot of people do. The only problem with them is you don't have as much real estate as you do on a sit-on-top model. So I recommend a sit-on-top model for fishing. This one is a proper fishing kayak. And as you can see, it's basically got all the stuff on which I'll talk to you about. But as I mentioned, this one's 8 foot. The shorter the kayak you have, the more maneuverable it is and easier it is to get in and out of little places. The longer, the better it is for longer distance kayaking. So if you're someone who's going to be, you have to paddle quite a fair way to get to where you're going to fish, I would probably even suggest going the longer model. You know, this, as I say, this one's 8 foot. I'm just over 6 foot tall, and this one suits me fine. But if you go 8 foot, 10 foot, 12 foot, whatever, you could certainly build that to that. So what we've got here, and let's go through the basics to look for first. And as I mentioned, one thing that I recommend for any fishing, if you're getting a fishing kayak, check for rod holders. Rod holders just make I don't believe you can fish without a rod holder in a kayak, if I'm going to be that honest about it. But this one has 4. This one's got 4 rod holders in it, and I also have one here. And a lot of kayaks come with this sort of stuff these days, which is a little thing there that you can screw onto the flush mount there. That goes in top, and that's another rod holder you have. The beauty of these things, if you get one with it, is I can actually use that. And the GoPro that I'm shooting on at the moment, I can put that there and stick that in that little slot there. Lots of little things I can use that for, but as I say, it's got the extra rod holder. These ones I have used this once when I had one of my big ocean rods on there, because it's a big heavy rod. Didn't really work too well, to be honest, in the kayak, but some people do use these. These are good if you want to stick it on the side and have your rod holder on the side sticking like that as well. So that's the first thing, and as I say, the main thing to look for is rod holders. Secondly, dry hatches. This one's got 2 in it, so this pops up like so. It's got a remove. I've still got water in there from when I went out the other day, but you've got your little dry bags there. That's actually a bit moist in there because I hosed this off the other day and didn't clear it. So take that out and let them dry like that. But they're your little dry hatches as well. They're quite good for, I put in water sometimes. I put in little bait things. You can put your lures in there. The front one is effectively my little bung holder. So I've got all the bungs that go in the top there, so I keep them in there so I don't lose them. But I have had ice in that one up the front. I've kept fish in the one up the front. I've all sorts of stuff. Basically anything you want to keep pretty much dry. If you're going to put your wallet and keys and phone in there, I suggest you put it in a little dry pouch, to be honest. They say dry hatches, but they're not 100% waterproof, but that's okay. So look for anything with storage hatches like that. Some of the bigger ones have square hatches on, which you can actually put in live bait holders and things like that in them. So if you're going more into the ocean, then obviously you're going to have a longer model, and then you can have you can get a big one with a bait holder. You can get big ones with much bigger storage ones. The bigger the vessel, normally the more storage it has in there. Now the other thing to look for here is at the back. I've got an elastic, this comes with an elastic cover on it. That's really good there. I normally put my life jacket in there if I'm fishing with more than one person. we have to have one in the vessel, but not on us. Our legal requirements are, if I'm fishing by myself, I always have it on me anyway. But put that in there. I normally put a little tackle bag, my little tackle backpack, my surf fishing backpack actually goes in there, and I can reach around and grab that quite easily there. That's the bare minimum. I've got a couple of a little drink holder there, I've got a little slot there. I normally we catch local bait we call yabbies. They're like little crustaceans. I actually normally just slot them in there in a little bit of sand and water and use that as my little bait holder, but you can use whatever you like from that as well. My handle, I haven't got the paddle with me, it's a dual paddle, obviously. That's about it. The other things that they can come with and you can look for in a kayak if you're looking for it, this one actually does have a seat. A lot of them come with seats. I can't grab that for you now because it's hidden behind a lot of stuff. I don't like the seats myself personally, but friends I go with like them all the time. They're just like a little polyester type thing. They sit in there, they've got padding on them, they sit up. They've got a back support on there for some people who like that. Again, the bigger models, a friend of mine's got a slightly bigger one. His seat's actually on some track mounts and he can slide his seat on and off as he goes, and it's almost like a beach chair. He loves it and uses it all the time. As I say, I don't like on this one, but ones like he's got, I don't mind. The reason I don't use it, because it gets in the way when I'm trying to reach around and get stuff behind me. This one has a mount for a trolling motor. Hopefully you can see that there. There's a little gap there with some screw points on the top. That means you can, and then the gap there, the mounting bar goes in that. You just screw that on top there, and you can attach a trolling motor to this. I haven't actually got a trolling motor for this kayak, but you can attach that quite simply. There's another one there. Some people like the trolling motor at the front, some like it at the back. There's arguments over where you should have them. That's fine. I don't use one, or even though I'd like to, I don't have one. But other things to look for, see these little clips here. These are for the seat, but some of them have clips at the front, which are good if you want to use anchor trolley, which is just a line that goes across and then your anchor sits on it, so it allows you to move around. That's where these things are good for as well, because you can put an anchor point on there, which will just spin around, so your kayak can move around whilst it's anchored. What else have we got here? That's about it, to be honest. They've got little elastic, that's a paddle holder, so that just, there's another, you can see the clip there, it just clips onto that. The paddle sits in there. If you are someone who wants to use one while you're out there, I would suggest screwing the clip-on ones on the side. They just work a bit better. I set mine on my lap, which is annoying, and it slips off and then you have to chase it down the water a couple of times, but that's beside the point. And look guys, that's about it as far as a fishing kayak is concerned. As I say, look for something that has rod holders. That is probably my number one thing on a rod holder. Dry hatches or storage hatches are always good. Places to stick your extra rod holders or anchor mounts or GoPro holders or whatever you want to do there. Seats are good. The elastic, this is actually very handy for me. I put in, as I say, my life jacket, my tackle box, and the Yabby pump slides in there as well. And it's really much just from there, just the length. The longer it is, if you're going out in the ocean, get a nice long one. Some of them have, the bigger ones have foot pedals. I've got a friend who's got one. I'll get a hold of it and do a video on that one as well, so I can show you that. But it's a Hobie. It's got foot pedals. It doesn't actually have a paddle. Everything's done by the foot. Another friend of mine's got a slightly larger one. It's got a rudder at the back. It's got foot things for the rudder. So if you're paddling, or if you're, if those of you fishing a boat, if you're in a little tinny, sometimes you'll just turn your motor one way to keep the boat straight against the current. That's what the rudders can do for the kayaks as well. That's about it, guys. Hope that was helpful. That's what to look for in a fishing kayak. There's so many aftermarket accessories. I've got a post in my website about aftermarket accessories, which I'll link at the bottom of this video. But if you have any questions, if you use anything else in your kayak, or you believe there's anything else that I've missed that you should look for in a kayak or anything like that, please comment below. We'd love to hear from you and love to start a conversation. Okay guys, thanks for that. Subscribe below, and you can keep up to date with my fishing exploits out on the kayak. And I'll chat to you soon. Thanks guys, bye.